brought to us by Landis Block. Create your very own jaw-dropping backyard paradise online at landisbc.com. See how I got all that out of the way right away? I don't want to get distracted.
No,
when
we don't
we're
want to
talking
distract
to Schefty. What's up, Schefty? Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
We're doing great. We're celebrating, obviously, the Eagles winning the NFC Championship game this past Sunday. We're getting set for Super Bowl 59. Adam, with all the storylines over the course of the season, especially surrounding the Philadelphia Eagles, with the head coach, the talk about the starting quarterback, obviously everything that transpired last year, is part of you amazed that they're back in the Super Bowl for the second time in 3 years with all of the storylines that came out starting last year with this team?
No. I'm not. Again, I think we've talked about this team always being in a position where it could do exactly what it's doing. And last year it finished on a down year. And it's not like the NFC is loaded with top-tier teams and top-tier quarterbacks like the AFC is. So the Eagles roster is as talented, if not more talented, than anybody's. It was just a question, could they get back to their winning ways? And they did. And here they go. Congratulations to the city. Should be a great 2 weeks ahead.
Is there a common denominator, though, to why they got back to their groove after last year? Is it as simple as they got two coordinators that know what the hell they're doing?
Well, that certainly helps, right? And, by the way, like the margin in these things isn't that great. So if the offensive coordinator is helping that much and he was an upgrade, then that makes a difference. And if the defensive coordinator is helping that much and he's an upgrade, that makes a difference. And when you got two coordinators that are upgrades, that sometimes can be the difference in turning things around, even in the mindset. Like, again, this is the same team last year that started out on fire. They couldn't be stopped, right? I mean, they're unbelievable, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
So
10-1.
And then they just lost their way. They lost the mojo, lost everything, and weren't able to get it turned around and fixed. This year, it started slow again, but it wasn't disaster slow. And these guys just built and built on it. And if we look at it now, the last 13 games that Jalen Hurts has finished, he's 13-0. Nobody's beat him when he finishes a game. Nobody. So, the roster's there, talent's there, coaching's there, ability's there. They got 60 minutes to go to hammer it home.
Speaking of coaching and coordinators, obviously earlier this week, the New Orleans Saints conducted the in-person interview of Kellen Moore. You always have your finger on the pulse of what's going on. What are the odds that Kellen Moore is the next head coach of the New Orleans Saints? Rising
by the day, increasing all the time. And 48 hours ago, I would have said he's right in it. And I think they haven't made a decision yet. Apparently, they haven't finalized any deal, to my knowledge. They can't. But it certainly sounds like it's trending Kellen Moore's way. That's what it feels.
Last time the Eagles were in a Super Bowl and a coordinator was taking the job of the city where the game was played, that coordinator didn't have his best day. I'm hoping that doesn't happen this time.
It does feel like a repeat. It does feel like it's the same kind of scenario, to be honest with you. Now, there were some issues here. Basically, last time you could feel it coming, and now it feels like, again, to your point, team, host city, hiring team, like it's a little weird. Defensive last time, offensive this time, but it does absolutely feel like it is trending that way.
So, Adam, last time this obviously happened, they promoted within, at least on offense. Brian Johnson became the offensive coordinator to replace Shane Steichen. Vic Fangio seems to be staying put here. Is the offensive coordinator job still – is the cabinet still filled? I mean, obviously a lot of teams have already made their decisions, and I imagine this is an intriguing job for somebody that would want it.
Well, and I guarantee they're going to have candidates on staff that they have to go through. Like that's a part of this. That's what most teams do when they lose coordinators. They look within. The Lions lost their defensive coordinator, and they promoted their new defensive coordinator from within. Even their offensive coordinator was on their staff 2 2 years ago. And a lot of times people like to look within to try to replace their guys. That's going to be an option. It's hard to go out and get a top-flight offensive coordinator anytime, no less after a Super Bowl game. So that'll be a challenge. Every team has them, and that's going to be one of the Eagles after the Super Bowl, if and when they lose Kellen Moore.
The best roster in Super Bowl 59, top to bottom, every player on the roster. The better roster belongs to what team?
Well, I've said this, and I'll say this probably, every time we're on shows here.
Sure.
I think the Eagles have the best roster in this game, and the Chiefs might be the most clutch team of all time, and nobody's ever able to beat them. They've won 17 straight one-score games. 17 straight. That doesn't happen by accident. There's a reason that they keep pulling out these close games. And it is because, in my mind, the roster is not great enough to pull away from anybody, but they are so lethal and deadly and clutch that nobody can put them away when they need to. Nobody. Nobody has. And now the Eagles get to take their shot to do it. Nobody puts them away ever. It's kind of weird.
We're speaking to Adam Schefter on the Comcast Business Hotline. Shefty, I remember way back before the season started, you do your training camp visits where you go to different teams, and you spoke with the Philadelphia Eagles, and I know that you have a relationship from your previous days with Vic Fangio. So what was some of the messaging from the Eagles team, the mentality of the Eagles team from before the season started, and how much did they back that up over the course of the season to get back to the Super Bowl?
Look, Vic is grumpy about these things, okay? So it's not like, when I see him this summer, he's like, boy, this defense is unbelievable. We got some things to address here. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. That's Vic. That's how he was. I'm not surprised where they are. And I am come on, Vic, the defense is a little better than that, right? They're doing okay. He's doing okay. They're right where they should be. And the defense, what I think you have to find encouraging is this is a better defense than the last Chiefs team that faced the Eagles in the Super Bowl, in my mind. I think this defense is better.
It's almost like how he watched what that Chiefs team in Super Bowl 57 did. Remember, they had that very young secondary at the time. Mm-hmm. They had revamped their secondary and went very young, and as the season went on, they got better and better and better. The Eagles maybe took a page out of the Chiefs' playbook then with Howie's off-season plan.
Listen, I think they've really shifted this roster. And I think, I had numbers on this. I think 7 or 8 of the starters defensively in this game are different than the last Super Bowl.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
That's quite a dramatic shift over, the course of, 3 seasons for what was once a Super Bowl team. But look, this team flamed out last year, and they knew that they had to make changes. They knew they had to do something to get better, and they drafted wisely, signed free agents wisely. We know who the names are. They made good decisions, and here they are on the brink of another world championship if they could find a way to beat the team that nobody can ever figure out how to beat.
Other than the three-peat, what's the biggest storyline going into Super Bowl 59, Adam?
Well, you could look at that three-peat from any which way you want, right? Like Patrick Mahomes making more history. Andy beating his other team again. To me, the big difference with this Eagles team compared to the last time they played the Chiefs would be Saquon. And how much of a difference he makes with as much of a factor as he's been this year. Can he be more important to this team than the Eagles defense itself? Because if he's grinding out yards and first downs, then the Chiefs offense is even coming on the field.
Tick. Yep, exactly.
And so Saquon Barkley may be the Eagles' most valuable defender in this Super Bowl.
Now, we just want you to know, if we bump into you on Bourbon Street and everything, because we'll get down next Tuesday afternoon. You just the credit card's out. If you want to get something to eat, you want to have a little cocktail.
His credit card, right? Schefter's credit card.
No, Adam's on a fixed budget.
Oh, okay.
So we just want you to know, Adam. We look forward to seeing you down there.
Yeah, I'm going down Sunday because
that's a long time in New Orleans.
Too long, but
I always tell people 4 nights in Vegas is the absolute limit. I think that's a long time to be in New Orleans.
Well, I don't have a choice here because I, for ESPN, am not required to be down there until I think Wednesday. But I have my daughter is working for Nickelodeon, obviously.
Oh, that's awesome.
The talented member of the Schefter household.
The much more talented member.
Yes.
So she has to do media night Monday night. So I'm flying her down Sunday, and then she's going back on Tuesday. But I'm not going to fly to New York Tuesday, come back when
right.
Yeah, don't do that.
That's stupid, right? So
yeah, that'd be stupid.
So I'm just going to stay down there, and it's longer than I'd want to be there. But that is the situation.
Well, we'll be on Radio Row Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So hope to see you there.
If Adam shows up on Radio Row, it'd be like Prince.
Yeah,
back in the day.
Yeah, that might be true. Schefter, listen, man, we appreciate the time as always, and we'll be talking to you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
There he is, Adam Schefter on the Comcast Business Hotline.
One of the greatest events ever.
Hey guys, it's Connor Thomas from Kincade and Salciunas. Thanks so much for checking out our most recent interview with ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter. If you want more Schefty content, click up here and make sure you're subscribing to the 97.5 The Fanatic YouTube page for more great content.